question regarding our previous lecture or assignment ke? Ada soalan tak? Okay, so today due date for your assignment 2 ya. Alright, so ada yang dah hantar, so it's okay. Alright, so we proceed with chapter 5, okay, short-term decision making. Hopefully our previous lecture you can catch up ya. Sebab all the questions will come out again in your final exam. For information before this I mentioned on the final assessment. So actually we MA2 lecturers decided to change final assessments to final exam. Okay, yang tu later I will inform you. I will give you details later lah today. Okay, regarding our final exam. So tarikh tu kalau final assessment before we set on 16, but then for final exam now we move to 25 rasa saya. Okay, tak lupa record. Okay, tak record. Okay, tak apa. Regarding your final exam 25 of January. Alright. Later lah we talk about this. I will give you more details lah regarding your final exam. But then for today we continue with chapter 5, short-term decision making. Alright. So what do you understand with short-term decision making ni? Okay, before this I keep repeating in terms of you need to understand regarding cost behavior. Okay, so whatever related to cost, okay, you learn in your MA1, you will also need to use in MA2. Okay. So, especially for short-term decision making, you need to understand all the terms, in terms of the cost. So, the very important in chapter 5 here is the term relevant and irrelevant cost. Yang ni you paling penting untuk you understand relevant and irrelevant cost, because these things relevant and irrelevant cost will be used in decision making. So for this relevant and irrelevant cost, you also need to understand the term differential cost. Okay, you also need to understand the terms or the incremental cost. Okay, and then opportunity cost, and also sunk cost. So you need to understand this all, because you need to know which one relevant and which one is irrelevant cost, because these things this relevant and irrelevant cost will be used in decision making. Okay, so talking about the cost here, okay, I think you also know the terms of the cost accounting. Okay, similar with what we have learned in MA1. All right, we also, when we define MA, okay, we always say the task of collecting, analyzing, summarizing, and evaluating. Okay, so here is related to cost lah. Kalau MA, basically we provide, we collect, analyze, summarize, okay, evaluate, and then we provide the information regarding the management accounting information. But talking about cost, This one is on the collecting, analyzing, summarizing, and evaluating cost information for some alternative action. Okay, and then cost accounting here is provide the detailed cost information that management needs to control current operation and plan for the future. So that's why I mentioned here decision making lah kan. So kalau you remember, kita still needs to consider the management function lah, plan, directing, controlling, reviewing, okay, cycle. Okay, sama lah. Alright, so we need to have this cost accounting in order to managers to control current operation and plan for the future. So the controlling and reviewing. And then talking about the cost also, okay, cost accounting. Basically, cost accounting commonly used in financial accounting information. So if you remember when in financial information or financial accounting, we record cost of asset. All right, we record cost of asset, inventory, everything is on cost. Okay, but then this one for financial accounting is just for recording. Okay, not for decision making. But for managers, okay, the cost accounting is a primary function, okay, for managers to facilitate in decision making. So managers will use all the cost information in order to help them to make a correct decision. Okay, so different lah. Cost accounting also used by the financial managers. Okay, but then it's just for recording the past or the history. Okay, the cost incurred, right? But then for managers, management managers, they actually use the cost accounting for future decision making. Okay, to facilitate in terms of decision making. So, talking about the cost also, all right. Actually, when the managers use the cost to help them to make a decision, all right. So we will think about two types of decision. One, strategic decision making. Okay, and then second is short-term decision making. So short-term decision making here, we call it as a tactical decision making. Okay, tactical decision making. Yang strategik ni adalah for long term lah, long term decision making. Okay, so we refer this as a tactical decision because it involves choosing between alternative with an immediate or limited time frame in mind. Okay, just for short term, right? Just for short term. So, decision here means that the manager needs to choose. Okay, needs to choose the very best alternative. Okay, very best alternative in order to maximize the profit. Okay. So maksudnya decision making ni managers need to choose various alternative or several alternative, several option, okay, to maximize the profit. Okay, this one is for short term. Okay, we talk about this short run decision making as a tactical decision because involve, okay, to choose between alternative with an immediate or limited time. Okay, short term. Okay, so this is decision making lah. Alright, so you have to know two type of decision making. Yang ni kita akan tengok next topic, but for this topic we focus on the short term. Okay, so this is the very important concept that you need to get in your mind lah, right? Concept of relevance. So because to be successful in decision making, manager must be able to tell the difference, okay, between relevant and irrelevant cost. Okay, data pun sama lah. Alright. So to be successful in decision making, so you have to know, okay, the difference between these two. So what is actually relevant cost? Yang ni pun banyak kali juga kita ulang before, right? Okay. So relevant cost is a cost that differs between alternative. Means that only cost or benefit that give differs, okay, in total between alternative are relevant in a decision. So for example, if you have two alternative A and B, so if the cost can differs between these two, for example, if you incur this cost for A, it will increase, okay, for example, you have to choose either A or B. If you choose A, this cost, okay, increase in A, but no effect to B. Okay, so there's a difference lah, right? But kalau you proceed with A, the cost, no effect. For B pun no effect. So this is irrelevant. Alright. So cost which differs in total between these alternatives are relevant in the decision. Kalau total tu total amount of cost will same, okay, regardless of the alternative that you selected, the cost can be ignored lah, okay, because the decision has no effect on the cost. Okay, so to identify, okay, the relevant cost must possess two characteristics. First, they are future costs, and at the same time, they differ across alternative. Okay, they differ across alternative. So this is relevant cost. You must see, okay, satu future, the relevant cost, future cost, and they differ across alternative. Okay, accordingly, only future cost can be relevant to the decision. Okay. And then avoidable costs can be eliminated in a whole or in part by choosing one alternative over another. So avoidable costs are relevant costs, unavoidable costs are irrelevant. Contoh, kalau you buat A, you boleh elakkan this cost. So means that the cost is avoidable. Boleh elak. Alright? But if you choose B, for example, this cost unavoidable. So the costs are irrelevant costs. Costs yang tak boleh elak. Whatever you choose between the alternative, okay, the cost is still there. So unavoidable cost. So yang tu kita panggil irrelevant cost. Right. And then two broad categories of costs that are never relevant. First, sunk costs. And then second, future costs that do not differ between alternative. Okay, don't confuse with what we have discussed just now. Okay, relevant cost is a future cost, but that future cost must differ between alternative. But here, future costs that do not differ between alternative always or never relevant in any decision. So this one you have to know how to decide or how to differentiate. Okay? Yang tadi relevant cost adalah future cost and differ among alternative. But here, future cost do not differ between alternative, never relevant in any decision. Okay, contoh kalau saya boleh bagi. Alright, okay, for sunk cost ni. Alright, sunk cost. Okay, I give you example for sunk cost, yeah. Okay, you buy or you purchase, okay, car for For example, 12,000, right? So the cost of this 12,000 is actually sunk cost. Why? Kenapa? Okay, why? Why we say this cost of car 12,000 is a sunk cost and never relevant in any decision? Okay, ada yang tahu tak? Sebab apa? Anyone? Anyone know why we say this 12,000 is a sunk cost? Okay, already happened. Jeffrey said already happened. Yes, already happened. Okay, because this one, okay, is already paid, right? Already incurred. And the transaction cannot be undone. Once you buy the car, you pay the amount. So the amount is there. And then transaction cannot be cancelled. Okay, sebab you dah bayar, you dah agree everything, and then this one, the car is yours already, right? Okay, so this is the cost. So the sunk cost is actually always the same no matter what alternative are being considered. Okay, irrelevant cost. Okay, so you have to ignore this cost when you make a decision. Okay, the sunk cost. Okay, this is example of sunk cost. Okay, already been incurred lah the cost. Okay, for example here, second example, yeah. Ini first example, second example. Okay, you intend to, for example, you intend to order pizza. After you go to the movie theater or you rent a DVD. These both are entertainment, kan? Alright? So, this is example for the future cost. Okay, this is example for the future cost because you just intend, you plan, right? You plan to order pizza after you go to the movie theater or you rent a DVD. So just intend, you plan. So this is a future cost. Okay, so you are going to buy the same pizza regardless of your choice, whether you go to movie theater or you rent a DVD. Okay, so this one, when you order the same thing, okay, the cost of pizza here, kalau you order, actually irrelevant. Okay, irrelevant because, okay, you order the same pizza. You order either you choose to go to theater or you rent a DVD. After that, you intend to buy pizza. You pergi kat pizza, you order same. Kan? So, okay, you, okay, this, regardless of your choice, okay, the cost of pizza is same. So does not affect your decision, the cost of order of a pizza here. Okay, so irrelevant. And also when you intend means that it's not happened yet, okay, not yet be incurred, but then this one just intention. So this is a future cost. Okay, future cost that do not differ between alternatives. So never relevant lah. So kalau you tengok sini, bila you have to decide whether this one is a future cost differ between alternative or future cost that do not differ between alternative, you must see from the perspective of whether they give different result or same result. Okay, regardless of your choice. Okay, in decision making. Okay, boleh kah? Dipaham tak? Sebab selalu student akan confuse this one, future cost. Yang tadi future cost relevant, tapi yang tadi differ among alternative. But here future cost but do not differ between the alternative. Okay, hope you understand lah. Okay, boleh ke? Okay. So next, regarding the opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost, we also talk this one before in previous lecture. Kalau tengok dalam opportunity cost ni kat mana? Transfer price, kita sebut kan the terms of opportunity cost. Okay, so opportunity cost, same with what we have discussed before, is a benefit sacrifice or foregone when one alternative is chosen over another. So opportunity cost is relevant because it's both a future cost and one that differ across alternative. Maksudnya kalau you pilih yang pertama, for example alternative yang pertama, maybe it can affect alternative yang kedua. Alright, so it differs across alternative. Alright, so maybe when you choose A, you have to sacrifice this for B. So also, okay, it both a future cost, one that differs across alternative. But then opportunity cost is never an accounting cost because accountants do not record the cost of what might happen in the future. They do not appear in financial statement. So opportunity cost is not really concerned by financial accountant. All right, but then this opportunity cost is very important for managers or managerial accountant because this opportunity cost is relevant to making decision. Okay, so hopefully you understand. All right, so this is opportunity cost, and then sunk cost, as what we discussed just now, okay, cannot be affected by any future action. All right, so for example, depreciation, sunk cost, okay. Sometimes kalau if you think about the depreciation for managers, okay, basically we don't care about the depreciation because it's already happened in the cost of asset. Okay, and then depreciation is related to the sunk cost. But then in financial accounting, depreciation here, okay, they allocate to future periods. Sebab tu kita ada accumulated depreciation, depreciation expenses. If you remember, depreciation is not a cash transaction. Alright? Depreciation is just allocation. Okay, based on the original cost. So, okay, this sunk cost is or original cost is unavoidable. Okay, unavoidable is actually irrelevant cost. But dia dah berlaku, so kita tak boleh elak lagi. Like what you say just now, it's already happened. Okay, so we cannot undone the transaction. All right, so we cannot avoid the transaction. So that's why they say this one is irrelevant. Okay, but then for financial accountant, okay, they will consider this as a cost. Okay, depreciation. Sebenarnya dia bukan cash transaction. Okay, but for managers, it's very important to consider the sunk cost because sunk cost is not relevant. So kalau you ambil kira, means that this is wrong lah. Okay, because it's already happened. It's not things. It's not change any decision lah. Okay, it's not change any decision for this one. Okay, so this is sunk cost, balik yang tadi juga kan. Okay, so two-step process when you want to analyze the relevant cost. First, you have to eliminate all the cost and benefit that do not differ between alternative. Means that you eliminate cost and benefit yang irrelevant. Kena cari dulu yang mana yang tidak relevant. Okay, and then later bila you dah identify, okay, this cost irrelevant. Okay, kita tak boleh ambil kira in decision making. this benefit also. And then after you consider this, then remaining cost and benefit that differ, yang ni yang akan ambil kira dalam decision. So sometimes the cost remain the differential cost, avoidable cost. Okay. So yang ni yang you have to see. Okay. And then in relevant or irrelevant cost, you also needs to consider this thing lah, right? Different costs for different purposes. Okay, managers need different costs for different purpose. So costs that are relevant in one decision situation may not be relevant in another context. So sometimes kalau katalah contoh insurance for example kan, insurance ke? Yang relevant apa contoh dia? Okay, kalau kata contoh lah insurance, okay, you kena tengok situation ya. For example, if I say insurance, okay, life insurance atau travel insurance lah. Okay, travel insurance. Insurance ni, example here, actually not relevant cost. You buat insurance, katalah you bayar insurance, okay, either you kalau contohlah kalau you ada apa-apa pun berlaku pada you, this insurance is already paid kan. Dia so tak ada beza sama ada kalau you choose to stay here or you go there, okay, the insurance is still there, right? So actually not relevant. But then if you buy the travel insurance, okay, but if you buy travel insurance, this is a relevant cost. Okay, relevant cost. Okay, because the purpose of you buying this insurance for traveling. So kalau you travel and then anything happen for you, this insurance is actually relevant to your decision. Okay, kalau you beli life insurance, for example, life insurance either you travel or not, what anything happen, okay, the insurance paid same amount, for example lah, right? So there's no change for your decision. But then if you buy for the purpose of traveling, so means that this travel insurance is relevant to your decision whether to travel or not. Okay, so that's why I say costs that are relevant in one decision situation may not be relevant in another context. Okay, so tu maksud dia lah, different cost for different purpose. Okay, boleh? Okay, so this is example. Kalau you tengok sini lah. Alright, so you kena betul-betul faham pasal relevant cost. Maybe it will come out in your final exam jugalah, right? So identifying relevant cost. Alright, for example here, this is example. Cynthia, Boston student, considering visiting her friend in New York. Okay, she can drive or take the train. By car, it is 230 miles to her friend's apartment. She's trying to decide which alternative is less expensive and has gathered the following information. So means that Cynthia trying to decide whether to drive or to take the train to go to her friend's apartment. Alright. So this is the information for driving lah, to drive. So the cost of this automobile cost based on 10,000 miles driven per year. Okay, the cost of her car. Okay, kan you tengok annual straight line depreciation on car. So the cost of car here is 18. This information, yang ni kita anggap sebagai information ya. Okay, this is the cost of car. Okay, 18,000 cost. This is a salvage value. Okay, resale value. Kalau dia jual, dia boleh jual balik 4,000 lah, right? Okay, so dia guna 5 years. So means that the annual for depreciation, if they use straight line depreciation, yang ni you dah belajar kan, straight line depreciation. So you use this formula then you will get this annual cost of fixed item. So every year they have to pay this, not pay lah for depreciation is not pay, but allocate the cost 2,800. So cost per mile is 280. And then cost of gasoline. Cost of gasoline, okay, information given here. Okay, per gallon is $1.60 and then divide 32 miles per gallon. So per gallon dia akan guna 32 lah. Right, so cost of per mile, so dia bagi kat sini inilah dia. And annual cost of auto insurance and license, also, and then maintenance and repair, parking fee school. So parking fee school, dia bagi monthly basis, $45 per month times 8 months. So this is the information. So you assume this is the information. Okay, nanti jangan pula tanya macam mana dapat. So kalau dalam exam nanti, biasa dia akan bagi maklumat yang ni lah for you to calculate this figure. Okay, this one is just given to you. Okay. Alright, so this is additional. Okay, additional information. So resale value of car. Okay, and then they give to you round trip train fare and benefit of relaxing on train trip. Sebab apa dia buat dalam tanda soal macam ni? Because they cannot convert the benefit of relaxing on train trip ni to money lah. Right, same with the benefit of having car ni. Okay, ada benefit but then they cannot convert lah. Kalau macam kita buat kerja yang paid, dah bagi tahu kan, tapi kalau you relax, apa benefit you dapat ni? Kalau in terms of cost, you tak boleh nak convert it into money kan. So hassle, parking, jam pun kita tak boleh nak convert lah into money. So that's why the question. But this is just like a subjective that can support you if you take the train. Okay, per day cost of parking car in New York. So Cynthia must decide whether they want to drive or to take a train. Okay, to take a train to go to her friend's apartment. Okay, first you must identify the relevant cost and irrelevant cost. Okay, so dia bagi dah kat sini. The cost of the car, 18,000 tadi, is a sunk cost and is not relevant to the current decision. Okay, current decision dia adalah to decide to drive or to take train. Ni, so either she take train or she drive, the cost is already there. Right, the cost is already happened, incurred. Kan? So this one is not relevant to the current decision. So in exam here, if they ask you to identify the relevant or irrelevant cost and ask you to explain, means that you have to identify the cost, which one relevant and which one irrelevant, and then explain why you say this cost is irrelevant or what this cost is relevant. Okay? So you kena explain lah macam saya bagi tahu tadi. Kalau sunk cost is already happened, either she drive or she take a train, so the cost is incurred, has been incurred. Alright. And then second, the annual cost of insurance is also not relevant. Okay, because it will remain the same if she drives or takes the train. Insurance, car insurance. Okay, car insurance. Okay, and license. Kan? So, bila ada kereta, you kena beli road tax, right? You have to buy insurance, okay, in order to drive the car. So, either you drive or you take train, okay, the insurance is already being paid. So, it's not relevant to make a decision. But how about cost of gasoline? Cost of gasoline is clearly relevant if she decide to drive. But if she takes the train, the cost would not be incurred. So it varies depending on the decision. So maksudnya cost of gasoline, kalau you drive, of course you kena bubuh minyak kereta kan. Okay. Tapi kalau you ambil train, minyak kereta ni, cost of gasoline tak perlu incurred. Alright, so that's why this one become relevant to make a decision whether to drive or to take a train. Okay, boleh faham tak? Alright. So, next, cost of maintenance, okay, and repairs also relevant. Okay, repairs also relevant. So, because if you drive, of course lah, the maintenance, the repairs, okay, must be incurred. Okay, sebab kita drive kan, bila kita selalu guna kereta, kita perlukan maintenance. But then, kalau you take train, okay, so maybe the maintenance and repairs can be avoidable, can be avoid lah. Okay, you boleh avoid this cost. So, relevant. Okay, and then the monthly school parking fee is not relevant because it must be paid if Cynthia drive or take the train, because this one is school parking, right? So because of cuti kan, holiday, school parking still must be paid. Okay, sebab dia bayar monthly, right? So either she drives or she takes the train, the school parking fee is still be incurred. So the parking fee is irrelevant because it's not a differential cost. Dia tak bagi apa-apa beza pun for this decision. So kalau you tengok sekarang ni, cost yang dia bagi tadi, the total cost ni, some of the cost here are relevant and some are not. Okay. And then if you see from the additional information, the decline in resale value due to additional miles is relevant cost, because when you drive, of course you add some more miles, right? So this when you want to sell, okay, the resale value may be reduced. Instead of 4,000, for example, salvage value just now, maybe when you drive and then you add more miles, so the salvage value may be reduce lah. Okay, when dia tengok, kan selalunya kalau kita nak beli kereta yang ni, kita akan tengok lah berapakah kilometer yang dah digunakan. So the more kilometer you use, okay, the less, okay, the resale value. So the cost actually is a relevant cost. Alright, it's because it can affect your decision either to drive or to take a train. Okay, and then the round trip train fare is clearly relevant. So if you drive, this cost is not incurred. But then if you take a train, this cost incurred. So if you drive, the cost can be avoided. So if Cynthia drive, the cost can be avoided. Okay, and then relaxing on train is relevant even though it's difficult to assign a dollar value to the benefit. Yalah, bila you bawa kereta, you penat. Kalau you naik train, okay, at least you can relax. Alright, and then the kennel cost is not relevant because Cynthia will incur the cost if she drives or takes the train, because the kennel is to putting the dog kan. Okay, so either you travel by car or you takes the train. So the kennel cost, you kena tinggal juga dog tu, and then so the kennel cost is not relevant because it not affect the decision. Unless they mention if she drive, she can bring the dog. So the kennel cost is relevant lah. Kan? So, tapi bila dia kata dia travel, dia kena tinggal that dog to kennel, kennel, so means that the kennel cost not affect, okay, the decision that she made. Okay, and then last, the cost of parking is relevant because it can be avoided if she takes the train. So dia tak bawa kereta, so dia boleh avoid lah the cost of parking. And then the benefit of having car and the problem of finding parking space both relevant but are difficult to assign a dollar amount. So mungkin yang ni lebih kepada prefer to take a train. So kalau you tengok total, kalau you have to, if we want you to identify the amount, you just take whatever relevant here. If she drive, so this is the amount yang yang relevant. So the total is 114. But if she take train, just involve round trip tickets. So kalau you nak tengok how much you can save, if you take a train, you just compare this figure, with this figure. So it would be cheaper by 10.86 kan, taking the train than to drive. Okay, so boleh faham tak? So maksudnya when you get the question for you to identify the relevant or irrelevant cost, means that you have to identify the cost first. Okay, whether this one irrelevant or whether this one relevant. And then if they ask you to explain, so you must explain sebab apa you kata this one relevant and this one not relevant. And then if relate with the cost, later maybe they will ask you to calculate this one lah. Okay, how much they can save, how many, how much the price or the cost will less if she use train, for example lah kan. So you have to calculate using the figure. Kalau dia tak bagi figure, you just identify relevant and irrelevant cost and give the explanation. Okay, boleh? So first approach lah to identify the relevant and irrelevant cost. Untuk kita pilih which one. Okay, any question? Any question? Okay, so far no Alright. Okay, next tadi kita cuma tengok relevant cost saja. Means that you choose, you identify the relevant cost and benefit, and then the rest you ignore. Whatever yang tak relevant you ignore, right? Okay, in identifying relevant cost. But next approach is differential cost. Total and differential cost. So this approach means that you include all the costs and benefit. Okay, you include this one, you include all. Okay, the cost and benefit either relevant or irrelevant, because we want to see the difference. Okay, we want to see the difference. Okay. Okay, kalau you tengok sini kan, we want to see the difference cost and benefit. So, if you take alright, irrelevant cost, relevant cost, so the irrelevant cost will cancel out when compare the alternative. Okay, so here, this is example. Kalau you tengok example sini. Okay. Management of a company considering a new labor saving machine that runs for 3,000 per year. Data about the company's annual sales and cost with and without the new machine are. Okay, maksudnya sekarang ni, yang ni adalah current situation without machine. Okay, maksudnya this is a current situation. And then this is a situation with new machine. Basically, they will give you a question, mungkin dia akan bagi this current situation je lah. Alright, and then information, additional information regarding the new things lah, new decision. Okay, so you kena prepare this income statement like this. Alright, so for example here, kita prepare lah contoh. Okay, dalam soalan dia dah bagi benda ni. Alright, current situation. So we have to prepare sales, and then we minus all the variable expenses. So here, direct materials, direct labor. Okay, direct labor for current situation, $8 per unit. Sebab kita tak ada mesin lagi, so dia punya cost adalah tinggi sikit. And then variable overhead. Okay, then you minus, you dapat contribution margin. And then you minus, less fixed expenses. And then this is the net operating income for current situation. This one is without new machine. And then when happen for this one, with new machine, still sama. Okay, direct material also sama. Then direct labor, the price or the charge, the wages per unit, okay, wage of direct labor ni, reduce, okay, reduce to $5 per unit. So when you times 5 times 5,000, this one is 25,000. But variable overhead same, contribution margin after you minus sales minus this one, you will get this figure. And then you less fixed expenses, and then of course rent on new machine here. Okay, you add this one. Okay, the new new investment, and then after you minus total net operating income, you dapat lah. Okay, so just what I said just now, we include all kan, relevant and irrelevant. But irrelevant means that there's no changes in decision. So maksudnya sales tetap sama. So tak ada difference lah. Alright. Direct material also no different. But direct labor, okay, when we can decrease the direct labor cost means that there's a benefit. Alright. Okay, there's a benefit. Okay, about 15,000 or $3 lah. $3 times 55,000. Okay, we have benefit here. And then okay, when benefit, okay, it also can increase the contribution margin. And then this one is a cost. Cost incurred, okay, new machine. So means that this a difference lah. Dulu tak ada, sekarang ada. So increase in cost. Okay, increase in cost. So kalau you tengok the difference between this, okay, benefit dia, contribution, and then the cost is a 12,000. Okay, 12,000. So if they when you prepare this one, later you must prepare this one to this analysis to prove, okay, whether your answer is correct or not. This one. So you boleh guna the differential analysis here. Okay, decrease in direct labor cost is a benefit lah. And then increase in fixed rental expenses, and then net annual cost saving for renting new investment or new machine. So this figure must be same with this figure. Okay. Okay, boleh tak? So means that we have two approaches lah. Alright. Satu, just take a relevant cost in order to choose the decision whether to proceed or not, okay, with the decision. Or we also can use differential cost approach. Means that you take all, okay, but then you have to see the difference, okay, whether they have difference or not to the decision. And then you can see whether it can save more money or not. Alright? So, tapi you tengok soalan lah, apa yang dia nak. Kalau dia just asking you to identify the relevant and irrelevant cost, okay, so just use the first part lah, okay, the first approach. Kalau tidak, kalau dia suruh cari difference cost, so means that you have to use this differential cost approaches. Okay, boleh tak? Any question? Boleh ya? Okay, so thank you. Alright, so next ya, limiting factor. Tadi kita dah tengok relevant and irrelevant cost. So now, limiting factor. Limiting factor means what? Limiting factors means constraint resource. If you remember when we in previous lecture kan, when we want to calculate or transfer pricing, okay, we have limited capacity. So this is a limited capacity, but in the different context kan. Okay, limited capacity. So for the company, sometimes they have constraint resource. Okay, they have constraint resource in order to meet the demand. Okay, so manager will face problem of deciding, okay, how constraint resource are going to be used, because sometimes if they have two option lah, okay, alternative 1 or alternative 2, but they have constraint resource, so maybe they have to choose, okay, either to meet demand for alternative 1 or for alternative 2. Okay. So, as before, when we have a constraint resource, we need to determine optimal product mix. Okay, because the aim is to maximize profit. Okay, the optimal product mix. Kita dalam satu-satu company okay, maybe they not only have one product, maybe they have several products. So, with limited resources, they need to think, managers need to choose, okay, which, the product mix lah. They need to choose the product mix in order to make sure that the mix can maximize the profit. Okay, because here is a short term. Kalau long term, maybe company can expand its capacity. Okay, so but the short term, it must make important decision in order to maximize the profit. Okay, so maksudnya, kalau ada constraint resource, you kena calculate lah which one you want to focus. Either product A or product B. Macam yang kita buat sebelum ni kan, ada pasal apa? Variance ke? Cost benefit analysis ke? Nanti you tengok balik kan? Benda yang sama je. So constraint resources ni okay, kalau you tengok sini, how does company decide which product is given priority over constraint resource? Sebab because kita nak buat decision which product to mix and in what quantities. Okay? Okay. So in constraint resource, you have to understand the concept lah. Constraint bila limited resource of some type restrict the company's ability to satisfy demand. Okay, and then bottleneck is the machine or process that is limiting overall output. Okay, so this is the term yang you kena tahu, bottleneck dengan constraint. Sama juga lah dengan yang lain. Okay, so how to utilize constraint resource? Okay, so kalau you tengok notes kat sini, when a constraint exists, company should select a product mix that maximize the total contribution margin earned, since fixed costs usually remain unchanged. A company should not necessarily promote those products that have the highest unit contribution margin. Rather, it should promote those products that earn the highest contribution margin in relation to the constraining resources. Okay, kalau dulu kan, kalau you tengok sini, contoh, if you have two product, for example A and B, sales minus variable cost, you will get contribution margin, right? So kalau contribution margin A, for example 50, contribution margin B 20, of course you as a manager will promote A because A contribute more. But here, since we have, or the company have constraint resource, okay, so managers not necessarily to promote this A, but they have to see, okay, or to promote the highest contribution margin in relation to the constraint resources. Okay, so yang ni yang you have to belajar lah, okay, in terms of the constraint resource. How to utilize a constraint resource, okay, to make promise the maximize profit. Okay, so example. Okay. Ensign company produce two product, okay, 1 and 2. Selling price per unit, less variable expenses, contribution margin per unit. So kalau you tengok kat sini ya, 24 and then 15. This is a CM. So as a manager, of course, when you see this, you also must promote this one lah kan, because this product one contribute more, okay, to the company. Okay, so current demand per week, okay, product 1 2,000, product 2 2,200 units. Tapi because of constraint machine A1 ni, kita tak tahu whether we can proceed to meet this demand or not. Okay, tak tahulah sama ada kita boleh tak, company can produce 2,000 unit and 2,200 units for product 2 because of the constraint. So, if you see here, the product 1 needs 1 minute, machine 1 minute lah, okay, machine A1 to produce 1 unit. Product 2 needs half minutes, machine A1, machine A1 to produce 1 units of product 2. Okay, so kita kena kira whether the capacity of machine here can meet, okay, this unit of product. So kalau capacity kat sini you tengok 2,400 minutes per week. Dia dah guna 100% capacity dah machine A1. So question, should assign focus its effort on product 1 or product 2? Kalau tengok in contribution margin, of course, managers in assign focus on product 1 kan. But then kita kena tengok the capacity or the resources, the limited resources. Okay, whether they can meet or not. Alright, so first, what you need to do is to calculate. Okay, to calculate the CM unit of the constraint resource. But this is just to see lah. Alright, so kalau tengok sini question dia, how many unit of each product can be processed through machine A1 in 1 minute. So tadi dia dah bagi tahu to process 1 unit products for product 1, okay, needs 1 minute. So 1 minute is equal to 1 unit lah. Alright, so either A or B. But then for product 2, just use 1.5 minutes to produce 1 unit. So if 1 minutes means that 2 units. And so answer dia is B. Okay, boleh tak? Yang ni kan, boleh kan? Okay. So what generate more profit for the company? Using 1 minute of machine A1 to process product 1 or using 1 minute of machine A1 to process product 2? Alright, so this one you have to calculate lah because we want to know. Alright, so yang ni yang penting, question dia ni. So first you must know the product 1, product 2. Okay, so tadi kita kata CM per unit from the question. Product 1 give you $24. Product 2 give company $15, right? But then, in order to process 1 unit of products, okay, processing time required. Okay, processing time required to produce 1 unit, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, and then this one just needs half minutes. Okay, right? So, to get the CM per constraint, CM per unit of the constraint resources, okay, CM per unit processing time lah. Because processing time is constraint kan. 24 divide 1 minute is 24. 15 divide 0.5 minutes is 30. Okay, so means that product 2 give more contribution to the company based on the constraint resources. So sebab tadi kita kata kita perlu fokus on this one. Kita tak boleh fokus this one because kita ada limited resources. So answer dia B lah. Okay, betul tak? Answer dia B. Okay, so to calculate, to get this figure, yang ni lah. Right, you kena calculate this one. Okay. So dapatlah answer dia B. Okay, and then macam tadi lah, the key is the contribution margin per unit of the constraint resources. So product 2 should be emphasized. Okay, if there are no other consideration, the best plan would be to produce to meet current demand for product 2 and then use remaining capacity to make product 1. So maksudnya nanti you have to focus on product 2 first. Kita kena cuba keluarkan semua product 2 dulu. And then later baru kita boleh keluarkan product 1 yang lebih-lebih constraint tadi or the remaining balance for constraint mission hours tadi baru kita produce product 1. Okay, bila kita dah tahu kita nak focus on product 2 first, means that we can plan, okay, based on the constraint resources machine A1. Okay, demand for product 2 is 2,200 units from the question. Okay, tengok balik question asal. And then time required per unit, okay, 15 half minutes. Okay, so total time required to make product 2 is 1,100 minutes. So means that we can produce all demand for product 2. Okay, to produce by using 1,100 minutes. And then we know that the constraint or the machine capacity is 2,400 minutes. So time used to make product 2, kita dah allocate 1,100. So balance, okay, balance product 1 is just 1,300 minutes saja. So from this, kita boleh tahu berapa unit products yang kita boleh keluarkan. Because to produce for 1 unit of product 1, we need 1 minute. Okay, machine A1. So production of product 1 is 1,300 units. So maksudnya product 2 kita boleh keluarkan semua. But product 1 we just can meet only 1,300. Okay, based on the constraint resource. So if we want to know how many or how much contribution that they can contribute, so product 1, because we can just produce 1,300, the contribution margin is 24. Okay, so total contribution margin 31,200, and then product 2 we can produce all. Okay, meet the demand times with the 15. So this is the contribution margin. So the total, you add lah these two, you will get this figure. Okay, boleh tak? Alright, so this is the way how you utilize a constraint resource. Yang you kena tahu this constraint resource, why we need to utilize it, because we want to maximize the profit. Kalau you just kata, okay, saya produce product 1 2,000 macam yang dia to meet the demand, and the balance we produce product 2, maybe they cannot get the maximum profit. Okay, dia tak boleh dapat maximum profit. So with the constraint resource, kita kena utilize KM per resources kan. Okay, and then from here we can know lah which one we want to focus more to maximize the focus. Means that we want try to meet all demand for the focusing products, and then the balance later barulah kita focus on the second one. Okay. Tu yang tu sebenarnya utilize constraint resources. So boleh faham tak? Can you understand what I explain? Can you understand? Okay, hopefully you understand. Alright, so quick check tu you try answer. Quick check actually lepas ni kan ada quick check semua ni dah ada jawapan. Okay, but then I want you to see sama ada faham ke tak. Alright, dengan apa yang saya explain. So you balik, you tengok balik. Saya rasa for today's class I will stop here. Okay, so you go back and you study and then try tengok dekat quick check ni. Quick check ni they give you answer already, but then how to get the answer? I don't want you to just see without understanding. Okay, so if you have problem, then you can ask me. Okay, or you next class on Wednesday we'll go back if you don't understand, because this is very important before we proceed to next level. Okay, boleh ya? Okay, so do you have any question before we start? Okay, hopefully you understand sebab penting juga ni. Satu question comes from this topic from chapter 5. Okay, so okay, so kalau you tak ada apa-apa, okay, kita boleh leave the meeting. Alright. So next class, I will see you on Wednesday. Okay, later this afternoon, I will give information regarding final exam lah. Alright. Okay, so hopefully you also submit. Okay, today due submission for assignment 2. Okay. Itu ni tak ada apa lagi, tak ada dah kan kecuali quiz 2 nanti. Quiz 2 nanti for chapter apa? Chapter ni kot. Chapter 5 ke chapter 6. Nanti kita tengok. Alright, so and no question So if you have no question, okay, I think I stop here lah. Alright, so see you on Wednesday. Okay.